Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Well, let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move today in Europe. I'm Lizzie Burden with Stephen Carroll, and we're joined by Bloomberg's Chloe Melee. Morning, Chloe.
Good morning.
Let's start with a consumer name, Pandora, down this morning. What's their missing link?
Well, for Pandora, the revenue did miss estimates this morning, and the crucial thing really is that the current trading in this third quarter was also a bit soft as well. So for analysts, that means that it could make it harder for Pandora to reach those expectations for the third quarter, and maybe the expectations for the full year as well. It did maintain its guidance, but it said that it was really too early to figure out the magnitude of the tariff impact and any effects that any mitigating initiatives could have to offset that. It makes its jewelry in Thailand, which is subject to 19% US tariffs. So that's obviously added cost that it needs to figure out and mitigate somehow. And it's also dealing with higher commodity prices, currency headwinds, and all of that is placing a lot of pressure on margins. So it looks like quite a negative picture. There is potential for Pandora to maybe be okay going forward, though. Bloomberg Intelligence did say that it's more affordable jewelry would maybe help it capture a consumer segment that is kind of trading down at the moment because of that lower consumer sentiment, because of the cost of living, and people having a little bit less of disposable income. So hopefully it will manage to sell more of those bracelets going forward.
That's certainly what they're hoping anyway. So that's the news from Pandora. Next to Orsted. The wind carrying some bad news.
Yeah, so quite a tough week for Orsted. It's another blow today. So on Monday, we had the stock sale, which it announced, which it said it was necessary to have that to steady its finances, but it sent the shares plunging on Monday. And then yesterday, it got downgraded by S&P to the lowest tier of investment grade. And that's because S&P said that Trump's policies against renewable energy and especially against offshore wind were likely to take a toll on Orsted's business. Since coming into office, Trump he's stopped permitting for new offshore wind developments. He's withdrawn some acres of ocean for development. He's brought the end of renewable energy tax incentives. So there's a real push against that renewable energy, and this all means that now Orsted is less able to sell stakes in projects that it's already building. And unfortunately, Orsted is quite exposed to the US and is facing now quite major setbacks when, not that long ago, it was considered to be really a flagship of the green energy transition, and now it's struggling.
And just finally, Chloe, I'm looking at the likes of Glencore up 2.7%, but a similar story for many of the miners. What's moving them this morning?
Yeah, so we thought actually that for the mining sector, we might see some weakness today because in China, there's some data out of China that shows that the economy in the country really slowed down in July. The production in factories and in mines rose to the lowest rate since November, for example. But potentially what is moving those miners up this morning is because if that data continues to come in weaker than expected, then policymakers may provide more additional supportive measures and to support growth in the fourth quarter. So the lost momentum that we see now could reinforce the case for more stimulus. So we'll see what happens there, and that speculation might therefore have kind of limited any downward moves for miners. For Glencore as well in particular, we do have a raised price target from Citi, so there's that additional boost as well there.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.